What's happening, YouTubers? It's your boy CB, and we are back for my favorite segment on the channel, Huddle Watch Alongs with Recruits. On today's episode, for you guys that love trench bullies, for you guys that love smash mouth old school football, you have clicked on the right video. I have one of the best, if not the best, offensive lineman in the class on today's episode. 2026 four-star offensive lineman Bryce Gilmore is a absolute monster in the trenches. He's got that size that you love, but the athleticism and the agility and the quickness as well. Just an all-around monster in the trenches. He's got one of the most impressive offer sheets you're going to see, from SEC schools to ACC to Big Ten. If you name it, it is on his offer list. But you don't want to hear from me. You want to hear from the superstar himself. So without further ado, hailing from Prosper, Texas, 2026 four-star offensive lineman Bryce Gilmore. How's it going, bro?
It's going great. It's going great. How about yourself?
Not too bad. It's pretty rare that I have somebody on here that understands what I'm going through in Texas. So it's pretty cool to be able to talk to another Texas boy. But before we get into the recruiting, before we get into anything else, for anyone in the chat, give them a recap on what this junior season was like for you and the squad.
Honestly, it was just a great season. I mean, we ended off at 2 losses, sadly, but we lost first round. But, I mean, for us, it's just our next stepping stone for next year. I mean, we got 2 days off, basically, of turning our stuff in, and we just got right back into it as a program. So, I mean, 2 days off for us is actually great. But, yeah.
The reason I'm laughing is, I'm for those of y'all in the chat, I'm laughing because, so I asked him beforehand, I'm like, so season ended, do you get any time? And he looked at me with a straight face and was like, yeah, I had time off. I had 2 days. I was like, Bryce, that's not exactly time off. So now it's interesting because it wasn't even 2 real days off. It was 2 days to turn in last year's equipment and then got right back to work. But that work ethic is why you are the elite offensive lineman. You are that work ethic is why the offer sheet is what it is. For someone that has the impressive offer sheet, and we're going to get into it. How is it balancing that, Bryce? How is it during the season? How is it in the off season when you're trying to get better, trying to work with your other offensive linemen? You're going to work with your school. You're going to work outside of school. You're going to lift. You got to keep the grades elite. There are some offers on this sheet that let me know that the grades are elite in the classroom as well. So how is it balancing all of that, recruiting, school, podcasts, and going to camps? How is that balancing recruiting and everything else that comes with that process?
Honestly, I would say it just comes to a point where it's kind of normal to me. Like during the season, it's like, hey, if a coach hits me up or wants to call me and stuff, my teachers know, so sometimes they'll let me go out and stuff. But if I'm busy, I'm busy. I'll call you after my school day and after the after school lifts and all that. But that's during the season. I mean, it's just a grind for us. And honestly, as an offensive line group, knowing us, I mean, we were all Division I last year. We all had Power 4 offers, our offensive line last year. And it was just I mean, it's something we don't mention though. We're really humble about it. And you can ask most people in our school, if they didn't know us from social media, they never know we had offers really. They just think we're a usual high school athlete. And that's just how we go into things. We go into things we will attack it and we're going to be the best at it. And that's just the way we do things.
Where does that mindset come from? Because it's a very mature way to tackle recruiting. Even the way you said, look, I can handle what I can handle. If I'm in practice, I can't answer my phone. I'll get back to you. It's a very mature way of looking at it. Like you said, it's kind of become the norm at this point. But where did that come from? Where did that ability for you and the rest of the offensive line and for the school in general to not get too high on your highs, too low on your lows? And like you said, you still prioritize the work, but that's a very grounded way to look at and attack recruiting. Where does that come from?
Comes from my parents, to be honest. I mean, they just raised me in a way. Yes, sir. They really did. I mean, from a young age, it was just they taught me to be respectful, obviously. I always say, yes, ma'am, no, sir. Yes, sir. I always just say that stuff. And it's just engraved in my brain. Most people, they're maybe 18 and stuff. It might be my classmates. And Like if I'm out in public, I'm just over here saying yes, ma'am, thank you. So I mean that's just the way I was raised. If you're older than me, even by a little bit, yes, ma'am. Like it's just in the brain.
Same way.
And
Same
yeah,
way. I find it hard to even as I've gotten older in the workspace. These people are my peers now, but it's weird for me. If you're older than me, it's weird for me not to call you Mister or Mrs. or,
mm-hmm.
and in Texas, it manners mean something. So there's a lot of times when people tell me, you could just call me Jerry. I'm like, I'm sorry, it's gonna take me a while to be able to do that. You got to give me some grace because I hear my parents in the back of my head when someone says, "No, just call me Reggie." I'm like, are you? I look around for my dad. I'm like, Dad, can I do this? But I think that goes to show that not only were you raised the right way, but you carry that with you every day. That mentality has to rub off. There has to be young guys in that locker room that see how you handle it, how you handle the process, how you talk to coaches. That's just going to be great for them because they're going to be like, okay, Bryce, the way Bryce always, yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Okay, let me make sure I do the same things Bryce is doing because I want to be where he is. So I love that because that trickles down to the next generation. That they're gonna look at it and go, well, I can't talk to a coach how I talk to my buddy because Bryce don't talk to a coach how he talks to us. So without you even realizing it, I guarantee you that's rubbing off on a lot of the younger guys. You're gonna build a bunch of little Bryces in a couple years because their example for how to do it and how to carry themselves is you. It's you and the other guys in the offensive line room. Like you said, y'all walk around campus like y'all are everyone else. Like I got geometry this period just like you do. So in the future, when someone steps out of that line, he's going to be checked by his teammates. It won't be a coach that'll tell him. It'll be someone to say, hold on. Our 4-star offensive tackle never acted like that. So if you want the Clemson offer, the Arkansas offer, the Miami offers, the Florida State, this is how you have to carry yourself. That's just going to trickle down to the next generation. So we talked about recruiting. If I talked about every one of these schools, I would keep him here past dinner. So we're going to talk about some of them because some of these are just so much fun. One of them I've got to talk about because you're going to be there pretty soon, going to Texas Tech for a visit, one of the hometown schools. How excited are you to get out there and check to see what the Red Raiders got going on?
I'm really excited, first off, to see my boy Ellis and Connor Carty since they're up there now. So I'll get to see them again. And it's just my dad, he has a lot of family up there too. So we'll also be able to visit my family up there. And I just view it as it's going to be a great time. And then after that, on that Saturday, I'm going to go check out TCU on that Sunday and see what they are about also. And it's just going to be a fun weekend for my parents. I know
they're going to be happy.
Vacation, so.
Is many vacations and they get to see some extended family. They're probably like, yeah, bro. They scheduled the visit. They were like, yeah, we're going to Texas this weekend and then we're going to TCU. But when we talk about growing up here, those are schools you want offers from because those are the ones that should know you better than everyone else. U of H, TCU, Texas Tech, Baylor. How much pride do you take in knowing that when it comes to the infinity gauntlet of Texas offers, you've got pretty much all of them? How much pride as a Texas athlete do you take in that?
I take a lot of pride because, I mean, when I was younger, I was like, I have to do this. Like, I have to stick with this football stuff, Like, yes, when you're younger, you're a little bit hard-headed and you don't want to listen to what Coach said, but you're like, you know what? He might be right in the long run, so I'm just going to stick with it. So I just take a lot of pride with it and remembering that little man in me. So.
And then when we talk about a school like Baylor, fantastic season this year, won their bowl game. Things are trending up. The way Sawyer Roberts looked in that offense is fantastic. Really good recruiting class, getting in guys like Taz Williams. They're doing some fantastic things up there in Waco. I know you've gotten to see that campus, gotten to see that facility. What was that visit like going to see the Baylor Bears?
It was a great visit. I really love seeing Coach Miller and all of them up there. And it was just an overall great visit, seeing parents have a smile. That's all I want to see at the end of the day when we go on visits. My parents having a smile and having a good time because that's something I value. Like, I don't want to go to a visit where my parents are like, when is this going to be over? Like, I don't like what that coach really said to my son, So I'm just like, all right, I'm glad they're happy about this one.
You got to recruit the parents first, right? You have to do that, and that's a good barometer too, because sometimes they have an instinct for things that we may not see. So if mom is looking at you like, hold, there's a vibe here. I like that you listen to that. You're like, hold on, what was it? I like that you're keying in on that too, because they see things we don't see. Obviously, you're looking at it from a different perspective. Now, with this next one in Baylor, I wanna ask you, not just you, but your parents. How proud were they when you get a Baylor offer or a Stanford offer? Those offers tell your parents, they tell everyone else recruiting you, not only can he shut down your best pass rusher, but he's also elite in the classroom. You got to be elite at both to get a Stanford and Baylor offer. They're not just offering good athletes. How proud are you as a student athlete, and how proud does that make your parents when you get an offer from Stanford and Baylor?
Man, for me, that made me really proud because I was like, hey, staying on top of this work actually paid off.
Let's go.
That's a smart school. So I was just like, I did that, and I was thanking my parents and stuff for telling me to actually stay on top of my work my freshman year. Because freshman year, I was kind of all over the place, and I solely wanted to just focus on football instead of school. But they changed my mind about that, and that's just something I matured in, is staying on top of my schoolwork always, asking teachers if there's anything else I can do on this assignment, just getting their tips and stuff. So, and for my parents, they were really just proud of me. They're overall proud. I mean, my dad's over here sending me a video of him just screaming and stuff, and just because he was with my uncles and stuff. He had FaceTime me, and I was like, dang, Dad, all right, thank you.
So I love that they're as energetic for the process as you are too. So yes, I know when you get these in-home visits, they have to be just like you said earlier, from young Bryce, from freshman Bryce, from eighth grade Bryce, that has to just warm, the kid inside of you when Arkansas is coming to the house to talk to you and talk to your parents. What's that kind of experience like for you?
Man, it's great. I mean, it was just overall good visits from what I've seen, and my parents loved it too, from the coaches that they weren't able to meet from either spring or summer or any junior day visit I went to last year. Maybe it's a great experience to see them, see the coach, and see the vibe that they brought to me and talking to me and the whole family. So that was just great for them to actually experience what it is like to talk to a coach that like I just talked to, because they kind of get mad at me sometimes when I'm like, oh yeah, I was just on the phone, and they're like, so you don't want to tell us this no more? And I'm like, I didn't think it was that important. I thought it was normal, but yeah.
But I love they want to be involved. I do love that they want to be involved, because then you never had that feeling when you're alone, or when it does get stressful, when it does start to feel overwhelming, you have somebody in your corner. And I like it from a personal standpoint that they're just like, hold on, hey, I wanted to talk to him. I wanted to just, see why he's so interested in you. I love that they're into it. What are they like at football games?
Oh,
yeah.
So I'll say
right, you don't get yourself in trouble. You okay? The sigh?
I'm not. All right. So I say my dad, because I trust him. He always taught me that the eye in the sky don't lie. So regardless if you messed up, it's what you can do the next play. Like if you slow down the play just because you mess up, is that gonna fix it? No. What you're gonna have to do is just sprint through and finish the play, regardless if you messed up on your assignment. You got to keep on going regardless. And hey, sometimes that'll end up in a pancake. Who knows? But then my mom, I just say my mom and her crew. Okay. Cause I say like
her crew.
Yes, sir. Cause it's like, I'd be sitting on the sideline. Usually I can't hear people on the sideline because I'm just like so in tune and focused in the game. And then I just hear Bryce. I'm like,
you know exactly who that is.
I know who it is. Then my mom got mad at me one game because this was against Westlake, her first game. She was like, so why didn't you look up at us? We were cheering for you and stuff. I was like, Mom, it's a game. I got to focus on it.
I can't. Yeah. You can't turn around, because the second you do that, you turn around, somebody going, Gilmore, what you doing? Yeah, man, look, I can't please both of y'all. All right, it's mom, exactly. If I don't turn, she's not gonna stop. So if I don't turn around, coach, like she's not. Yeah. that support system is huge. I love that you have it. So for this next one, want to start the film because I got to ask you a question before I get into this offer. I love asking offensive linemen this. If I give you your choice, what's more enjoyable for you when you're going up against a top-notch pass rusher and you can shut him down all game long, or when it's a run block and you can just absolutely pancake someone? What's more enjoyable for you?
Run blocking, 100%. I love run blocking.
All you got. Every offensive lineman says the same thing.
That's how you set the tone right there. I mean,
yeah.
In my eyes, if you don't start the game off running, the O-line's not going to play as good as they can because we have to build that nastiness in the beginning. Like, you can't just have us sit here and just pass pro and stuff and be passive, you know? You got to start out the game run blocking and just putting dudes on their back.
When we talk about putting dudes on their back, first clip. Bryce, when you get to the second level and you see a linebacker or a safety, how excited do you get?
I get real excited. I can't even. I'd be so happy because they talk the most during the game.
Yes, they do.
And when you get there, it's just like what I did here. You got to drive them and make sure that you know that they're there.
I was gonna ask, what did he say to you? What did he say to you?
That dude specifically was talking about my mom, so that's why I had to drive.
Oh yeah. Oh, he got the business. Yeah, that's why he got the bit. See, listen, quick PSA for anyone that's gonna line up against him next year. He's already dominant. Don't talk. Just let him be happy. He's gonna drive you off the ball happy. Don't make him mad now. Why would you do that? He's going to do this in a good mood. So why would you upset him? That tenacity, though, that ability that, hey, if I get my hands on you, I'm not getting up off you till I hear the whistle or until I sit you down on the bench. Absolutely love that from an offensive lineman. And I know there's a staff that loves that. There's an offer there from the Miami Hurricanes. When we talk about offensive linemen, Coach Cristobal specializes in that. Not just him, but Coach Mirabal there as well. What was it like getting that offer from the Canes, knowing how much pride they take in good offensive line play?
It felt so great to me because, to be honest, I always looked up to Coach Cristobal too as an O-line coach and just what he teaches to everybody. I mean, I say every offensive lineman leeches off of what he says because he's like the guru of offensive line. So, I mean, having him offer me in Miami, that was like huge to me. I was like, I really made it in this O-line stuff. Like,
the same way the Stanford offer is, okay, my grades are clear. I'm a complete student athlete. When you get that Cristobal offer, that's okay. I've been stamped as an offensive lineman.
Oh yeah, yes sir. I was like, all right, I don't gotta worry about no DN, no tight end, no nothing.
And then you see what he's done with, Francis Mauino, who came in freshman All-American. Markel Bell came in from junior college first year as a starter on the left side. You look at Inez Cooper, who came in as a 3-star offensive lineman who looks like he's one of the best guards in the country. How much of that development that you've seen from Coach Cristobal has you excited about the potential of maybe being a Miami Hurricane one day?
I see a lot of potential too. I see a lot of potentials in other schools, but just seeing what he does to offensive linemen is just like amazing to me to see, and it's just something that obviously still have to take into consideration and stuff. And honestly, the vibe that I get from him in person, and because I met their assistant offensive line coach, Coach Edwin Pata, and
it's my guy. Shout out to Pata.
Yes, sir. And seeing him, and he even taught me and Crimpin. We were sitting in the coach's office. He was teaching us some work. I was like, okay, so I want to try this in my next game that I had, and that was really huge for me. So, yeah.
And then when we talk about player coaches like Coach Cristobal, I would be remiss if I did not bring up Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin because he is the player coach. That culture that he's built up there in Ole Miss is fantastic. Explosive offense, but still in the SEC and still prides himself on running the football, on being physical. What was it like that day you got that offer from Ole Miss?
Whew, man. I mean, it was during my spring ball practice too of last year, and it was their O line coach. He was out there, and I was like, okay, Ole Miss, they're here. Like, and Oregon was there too, and Michigan, I believe. All of those schools were there, and they were just, and everybody was like, who are they here to see and stuff? I'm like, because we do it. Obviously, the O line's in their little corner, so we went ahead and just had our little corner across the field, so they can walk and see everybody else. That's like our D to our team. They get to see everybody
Love
else
that.
while they watch us. So it was honestly like when he offered me after that practice, I was just like, because I believe that was my first SEC offer. I believe so.
Really?
I think so. I think I don't quite know for sure, but they're one of the first. That was really
That's
special to me.
huge. And then getting in after a practice too, that has to be rewarding. Like the way you got the TCU offer and the Ole Miss offer, TCU after a camp, Ole
Yes, sir.
Miss after a practice. How rewarding is that when you've put in a good day of work and then you get rewarded with a big time offer like that?
Yes, sir. It's very rewarding. I mean, you just feel like all your work paid off to build up to that moment too, because it's always about preparation at the end of the day. Like even if a college coach isn't watching your practice, it's what your high school coaches see too. It's what the players see too. And they can tell on you. They can tell if you're doing good or if you're slacking. And our coaches, they don't lie to the college coaches. They'll say, "Hey, this kid's a slacker. You don't want him." Like they'll tell them straight up because there's people who practice good and play good in the games, and then there's also people who slack off during practice, but they show up during games and they actually do pretty good. So that's just one thing that we do here is our coaches they don't like to say all that stuff and just hype a player up to hype a player up. No, you got to earn it.
Do you feel like when these offensive line coaches, when Paddle, when Mirabal, when Cristobal, when they see how you can move in space, do they get a little surprised sometimes when they see just how athletic and how quick you are in space?
Yes, sir. That's one thing I pride myself on, especially from the genes I got from my parents, is them making me athletic. Thankfully, because I already knew they always told me that I always had that quick twitch, that fast twitch, and I was always good on my feet too. And they were like, I need to see you play with some power this year. I was like, okay, I'll make sure
Okay,
I play with
I'll
some
do
power.
that.
You know, yeah.
And then being an offensive lineman in Texas, when it comes to the trenches, you're going to see defensive ends that can run 4.5s, 4.4s. You're going
Oh
to
yeah,
see
all
some
the
of the
time.
most freak athletes. You
Yes,
feel
sir.
like that gives you a leg up when you do get to college just because you have been going
Oh,
against top
100%.
competition in Texas?
100% too, and also because of the way we schedule our practice. I mean, we had the Arkansas coach up here last week on Tuesday, Tuesday or Wednesday, I believe, and that's also when Stanford was there after that too. So that offer really felt rewarding too after our workouts, and he was telling my parents to they actually go nonstop, full go. And because first we always get our conditioning or change of direction work in, and then we go into our lift. And the lift is also in the period, but the conditioning slash change of direction is before school. And so then we
Okay.
go into our lift after that, and then after that we go into some like strength slash speed work more after that, and it's just
That's
yeah,
a super rewarding way to get an offer. What I
yes,
love that you mentioned earlier too is like when Stanford does come, when Arkansas does come, you seem like you take pride in, okay, we can probably get somebody else an offer too here. How much pride do you take in knowing a coach is coming to watch me, but that probably means that one of my other friends
mhm,
can get an offer, that rising tide, the tide will raise all boats. So yeah, Arkansas is coming to see Bryce Gilmore, but then they see your left guard and they're like, okay, he nice too,
yeah,
or oh, the quarterback is nice, or the safety is nice. How much
yes, sir.
pride do you take in helping other players, other teammates get offers and get looks as well?
I take a lot of pride in that because at the end of the day, we just all want to see each other succeed. You know, we all want to see each other at the next level, regardless of what level that is. I mean, we all hype each other up. You know, we're all working with each other. We spend so much time with each other, team bonding and all that. And it's just like when we see each other's success pay out on the field, or offers or interest from a D1 school also, or even D2, I mean, that's huge for the whole team. You know, we're also going to
Yes, it
celebrate each
is.
other regardless. So
Now, when you see a tackle that's 6'4" and who's long like you, everyone's first assumption will be, oh yeah, but can he bend? Can he get down? You don't seem to struggle with speed rushers though. You young man tried. He tried to dip, he tried to bend, and no problem at all. For a bigger guy, for younger offensive linemen that are out there watching your film going, man, I want to be like him. What would you say is the key to having that versatility where you can deal with speed rushers, with power rushers, with guys who can bend, with
just
guys with quick twitch? What would you say to a young offensive lineman trying to figure out how does he become a well-rounded tackle?
work on your hip mobility. That is really key. Work on your hip mobility. Work on ladder drills too. I know it may sound like you're trying to become a speed player, but trust me, that will help. Strength will come over time. And that's something you have to trust. And it's a hard thing to deal with because during the season I was really sick and I had an upper respiratory problem and I was always throwing up and stuff, lost weight a lot, and ended up being during the season 255 pounds. That's what I was playing at for most.
Really?
I wasn't even at my true weight. So that's why I feel like this senior season is really personal to me because now I'm actually going to be able to play with my full strength and still at my same speed. And I don't think anybody's going to be able to stop that
Yeah,
personally.
no, that's so scary.
And
I'm sorry, but that's absolutely terrifying. What did you
yes,
learn about yourself? How much did you have to adjust your game during the season? I mean, fighting through that, going through that, and still playing as well as you did.
yes,
It's
sir.
fascinating, Bryce. If we turn on your tape, no one would have said, "Oh, he looks a little different this year." You didn't look different. So what did you learn about yourself through that process?
Honestly, I learned to gain confidence, you know, because I was more of like kind of a shy, quiet guy coming into the season and stuff. But so I got that sickness, I was like, yo, I gotta play with the edge, you know, like I can't just be so laid back and stuff and just let people try to bully me. I gotta bully them back. And honestly, that's something I gained second game of the season after Westlake because I was like, yo, we just lost and we don't usually lose in the regular season. And so it's just after that I came out with the attitude and I was like, if you're gonna line up against me, you're gonna get put on the ground. So that's something
I love
that I
that.
just put into my mind and engraved in my head that every day I was going to work to be my best and my coaches were going to help me through that journey.
There's a school you mentioned earlier that was on campus recently to watch you practice, but you had a chance to go up there as well. The Oregon Ducks, fantastic season this year, fantastic
Yes, sir.
recruiting class as well. Shout out to Zaire Addison, the four-star offensive tackle that is
Yes,
going there from Tampa this year. What was that visit like going up there? That is a school and a team that is extremely passionate about that football program. What was that like up there? And can you feel that energy when you're up
oh,
there?
yes, sir. I felt a lot of energy while I was up there. Yes, sir.
What was that like up there? Because Dan Lanning seems like he's building something that's really fun. He seems like a very fun coach, but it also, like I said, they are extremely passionate.
Yes,
They
sir.
do not mess around about their Oregon Ducks. What was that atmosphere like for you as a recruit checking it out?
It was honestly just like a very energetic atmosphere. Like I came there to watch their spring ball practice and expected the players to just be like going through the motions, maybe like, hey, this is just a regular. No, people were jumping around, and I was genuinely surprised. You got offensive linemen talking smack to defense, and they're not even in crossover yet. They're warming up together, and I'm just like, dang,
Beefing in the stretch line.
yes.
That's
And it was controlled beef though, to the point where like you could tell they were friends and stuff, but they like picking at each other the whole time, and it was just they started their game thingy, their little game setup. I was like, these boys are actually getting after it, I was genuinely surprised. Got to see their weight room, meet the strength coach, and everything. Man, it was just like such a great visit to see, and I was just like, this is a school that I think can be a top contender.
I love teams that have that culture, that have that energy. That's just competing. And coming from Texas, I know you're not shy when it comes to competing. You're used to competing.
Oh,
So I would
yes,
imagine when you see that at first, it's like, man, that's a little harsh. Then it's like, oh, I could fit it.
yes, sir.
Actually, I can compete. I like that you're taking those visits, like you said earlier with TU, with Texas Tech. Sometimes it can feel overwhelming, but I like that you're getting some variety of recruiting. You're going on, checking out Oregon, checking out a practice, because you don't really know if you're gonna fall in love with a place until you actually go up there. So I do like that you allow yourself that grace to go up to
Yes,
Oregon to just to see what it's like, and because Pac-12 or the Big Ten. So you may never get a chance to see that stadium. You may never get a chance to see that atmosphere. I like
yes,
that
sir.
you take advantage of those opportunities. Bryce, one of my favorite questions to ask is why. As someone who works hard and don't take no days off, I know there's times when your body's sore, where you're tired. You didn't have to stay up late last night because you're studying for a test. What is that why that keeps you moving, keeps you motivated on those days when you start to get out of bed and your body is sore? What keeps Bryce Gilmore going off days?
Not going to mention the school or the coach, but my why is when I'm sitting here in workouts and stuff. I'm sitting here with 10 offers, 10 Division 1 offers, and a coach tells me I'm not going to actually make it. Like, these are just offers that just to throw out there, get your name out there maybe and stuff. And I was sitting there shocked and stuff, and I even cried when he left because I was like, this coach just told me I'm not going to be able to make it and stuff. And so I was I was generally shook, to be honest. And those next two, like after those 2 days and stuff, I was like, all right, I got to prove this dude wrong and stuff. So it was just like a lot of people don't understand that about me because I don't show that side of me. Like, I don't like to my teammates during spring ball. Yeah, I'm gonna put you on your butt, but I'm gonna make fun of you about it. I'm not going to bully you. You're my team.
Yeah.
We're gonna have fun while we do. I'm gonna take you for a little ride and stuff. And I'm gonna put you back. Give you a little rest time. But it's just like when I heard that, I was like, all right, so that's one hater. I got to prove him wrong. So that's just how I got my why, kind of. I got my why from a coach telling me I wasn't going to make it, and now I'm going to make it because he told me that, and he gave me the extra motivation I needed that could help me
What I
also.
love is what I love, Bryce, is the dog inside you didn't take that information and second guess yourself. You didn't go, man, is he right? You were like, what? Okay, bet. You
Yes,
took
sir.
that as motivation. You didn't take that to start looking at yourself and going, man, maybe he is right. Maybe I'm not. You took that and went, okay, that's cool. I can show you better than I can tell you.
Mm-hmm.
And I guarantee you he regrets saying that now. I love that what could have been a setback, because for a lot of us, we like the gratification. Nobody does what they do not to be good at it.
Yes, sir.
So I like that you were given a negative critique, a terrible critique, by the way. Shame on that coach, because you should never put down a player like that. Tell a player what he can do to become elite, not that he can never be elite. That's
Yes, sir.
ridiculous. But I
Yeah.
like that you took that, didn't frown, didn't keep your head down. For you, you put that chip on your shoulder. You
Oh,
were
yeah.
like, oh, okay, cool. I'm gonna prove myself right. And in doing that, I will prove you wrong. I love that became motivation for you. That didn't become a crutch. It didn't become something where you second guessed yourself. Even this year, when you did have the setback, when you did get sick, you never second guessed yourself. You just said, okay, let me adjust how I play out here. And we started to, it took 30 minutes for Bryce to tell us that he wasn't himself last year. And on film, you can never tell the difference because the mindset you have and the dog inside you has that get it done.
Yes,
It's that,
sir.
okay, I'm gonna just get it done. Then if you so you think these 10 offers are fake, okay, I'll get it done. I'll prove to you that they're not. And when Stanford is coming, when Ole Miss is coming, I like that that just became a motivation for you. And I'm sure everyone else in that offensive line room was looking at that coach when he left, like, bro, you don't know Bryce. You don't know Bryce like we know Bryce. Because I guarantee your boys were like, oh, that's the worst thing you could have told him. Now he's really about to drive me 15 yards at practice now. Now he may be mad at you, but I got to feel it. The defensive ends were like, now I got to. Why would you say that to him of all people? I got to feel that. But I like that you never second guessed yourself. You never looked at yourself in the mirror and went, maybe he's right. You took that in stride and was like, bet. I'm going to wear that like a badge then. And every time I pancake somebody, they're going to have to feel the wrath of you telling me I wasn't going to make it. I absolutely love that. Never lose that, no matter where you are, no matter what you do. I don't care if tomorrow you decide I'm licking stamps like for my career. Never lose that motivation to be the best at it. My grandmother used to say, the world needs ditch diggers too. So if you dig ditches for a living, be the best at it. No matter what it is that you do, be the best at it. Bryce, thank you so much for coming on. I had a blast here. I have to ask, what's the goals for next year? Obviously, I know you play Texas football. The goal is state. That's number one. Do you have any personal or squad goals for next year?
Squad goals is to go undefeated. First of all, we got to prove everybody once again that we're Prosper High School, and like we like to view ourselves as the top predator. We're like the apex predator. And everybody else is prey that's trying to chip in on us and try to kill us off and knock us off our board and stuff. Because, to be honest, we could have won the Austin Westlake game. We could have won Coppell. We could have won Allen. But it's just stuff that we got to take into account and be like, okay, we lost to them this year. Next year, we're going to come back and we're going to beat them, just like we beat everybody else. So that's what we're going to be doing next year as a squad. And some of the personal goals is to honestly just lead my team. You know, like I want to be a better leader for my team, lead them to success, and just give everybody tips, try to help out in the weight room. If I see a person skipping, I don't want a coach to go call him out. No, I want to call him out just so he can be like, oh, okay, if he's telling me. Because I view it as if you're skipping 1 or 2 reps, why did you even do the set? Because you're 1 to 2 reps away from getting the actual set done. So why are you skipping it? And they'd be like, oh, I'm tired. Well, were you tired during the other 6 reps? And they're like, yeah. So why didn't you finish? You know, so that's just something I do with my teammates. You know, I give them a little ear, you know. And once sometimes I go in the weight room for the second group and I'll be like, I just go out to the kid. I whisper in his ear, yo, you got to step up. This is your rack. And you have your teammates skipping. You got to step it on up and you got to yell at them. You got to get ugly sometimes. And that's just the way I want to do things. I want to make sure I'm like that little voice in their head that be like, okay, I don't want to skip no more reps. So
I'm telling you, they're going to hear that voice in their head. You're going to be gone. You're going to be playing P4 football, freshman All-American somewhere. Somebody going to get under that bar and think, I know they said, 4 sets of 10. I'm going to do 3. He going to hear you in the back of his head. Why you going to do 3 if the coach said 4? He going to hear that. I'm telling you, they're going to, or somebody else is going to see somebody doing something and go, hold on, time out. No. It was 10. You did not. Go back under that thing and give me another one. I love that accountability. That's why y'all are going to be successful next year. When everyone's holding themselves accountable, when your leaders hold everyone accountable, success is definitely going to follow. That's why the offer sheet is what it is. It's because you're not just elite in the classroom, not just elite on the field, but you're an elite human being as well. That's why Miami, Florida State, Florida, Arkansas, that's why the offer sheet is what it is. It's not just they see that you can destroy a defensive end. They then get to talk to you and they realize, oh, if I want to build a championship, I probably need this dude in my locker room. But that you can't build a championship culture without championship individuals. You just can't. So when you land a Bryce Gilmore, you're elevating the culture in your locker room as well. And you're playing on the field. Like, let's not get it twisted. Your offensive line just got better too. Your whole room just got better. But you also gained a leader. You also gained someone that's going to hold himself accountable for every single rep. Bryce, I cannot wait to see this senior year now. Every game that gets streamed, you send me that link and I am pulling up. Let everybody know where they can follow you on Instagram and Twitter, because I know I'm going to get it from every school, from every fan ask, oh, what's his Twitter? What's his Instagram? So let them know where they can follow you.
My Instagram is b.rice78, and then my Twitter is Bryce_73.
Go follow him. I'm going to link both of those in the description. This way, all you got to do is click them. They'll take you straight to his pages. And I'm going to put his huddle down there because they'll break them down game by game. So you're going to see next year, oh, he playing against that DN, or they playing against that defense. You're going to want to tap in. So I'll make sure I link that down so that everyone in the comments can keep up with him. If I did not mention you, I'm telling you, the offer is there. I just couldn't keep him here all night. Next year, after the successful senior season, after y'all run the table, we're going to have you back on so we can sit back there and watch that film and watch you dominate again.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming on, bro. Like, share, and subscribe. Y'all go follow Bryce right now. Please do not wait till y'all see me tweet something out about him and then y'all ask me about his Twitter. His Twitter is in the description. So will his Instagram. You guys make sure you follow him so that when he does commit, when he does announce his commitment, y'all can show him the utmost of love. Thank you so much, Bryce.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Like, share, and subscribe, y'all. We out.